So now we're going to take a look at using function notation. And what we have is we have two functions, and the fact that I'm calling it function notation lets me know that we've already determined that they are both functions. So I have functions because we're saying this is a function h and a function f. And it says to find h of 7. So this is what this means. This just means find the output when the input is 7, right? What's the output when the input is 7? Well, if I look at this set, it's a discrete set, this H set, I see that when I put in a 7, I get out a 0. So H of 7 is 0. Pretty simple. Okay, so that's with a discrete set. Now, this next one is asking us to find W if H of W. Now, that means that we already got a 0, meaning the output. So right here, this is the output. And they're wanting to know what was the input. Right? So we just look backwards. If my output was 0, then my input would have to have been, and they're calling the input W, that's just what they're calling it, the input would have had to have been a 7. Okay? So going backwards is fairly simple. Now on this next one, what I have is I have the function notation that we use, right? That we just were talking about, but this time it's actually a continuous function. This up here is continuous, so which means I don't have a discrete set of points. I have a value that I'm going to put into a formula. So here we go. We're going to put in an 11, and we're going to see what we get. So f of 11 is just the square root of 9. Now remember, I can't put a plus or minus because they already had the radical there, and it didn't have a plus or minus already on it. So this is going to be the non-negative version. It's going to be a positive 3. So pretty simple there. Now this last one here, they're wanting us to find the input. Okay, remember this is output because they're already saying that f of x, the output is 6. What was the input? And this is an equation, not a discrete. This is continuous. So here's what we're doing. We're basically saying if this whole thing ends up being a 6, what was my x? Right? Well, for this thing to be a 6 means that this would have to have been a 36. And for this to have been a 6, and of course I could solve this by taking the squaring both sides, but I'm just going to go with the more intuitive approach. So that means that that would have had to have been a 38. Right? So the input was 38. Just going backwards. Okay, hope this helped. Thanks for watching.